Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 15th chapter, verse number 4 and 5. Satatra tatrāruṇa-pallava-śriyā phala-prasūnoru-bhareṇa pādayoḥ spṛśac chikhān vīkṣya vanaspatīn mudā smayann ivāhāgra-jam ādi-pūruṣaḥ saha he tatra all around aruṇa reddish pallava of their buds śrīyā with the beauty phala of the fruits prasūna and flowers uru-bhareṇa with the heavy burden pādayoḥ at his 2 feet spṛśat touching chikhān the tips of their branches vīkṣya seeing vanaspatīn the lordly trees mudā with joy smayan laughing almost spoke agra-jam to his elder brother Lord Balarāma ādi-pūruṣaḥ the primeval supreme Lord. Translation. The primeval Lord saw that the stately trees with their beautiful reddish buds and their heavy burden of fruits and flowers were bending down to touch his feet with the tips of their branches. Thus he smiled gently and addressed his elder brother. Purport. The words mudā, smayan, indicate that Lord Krishna is in a joking mood. He knew that the trees were actually bowing down to worship him. But in the following verse, the Lord, speaking in a friendly, light-hearted mood, gives the credit to his elder brother Balarāma. Shall we read the next verse now only? Yeah. I'll just read it myself. Text number 5. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Aho Ami Deva Deyavaramarāchitam Pādāmbujam Te Sumanaphalarhanam Namantyu Pādayoḥ Shikhabhiratmanas Tamo Apahatyai Tarujanma Yatkrutam. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O greatest of Lords, to Balarāma, of course, just see how these trees are bowing their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers, to eradicate the ignorance, dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. Purport. The trees of Vrindavan were thinking that because of past offenses, they had now taken birth as trees, and being immovable, could not accompany Lord Krishna in his wanderings throughout the Vrindavan forest. In fact, all the creatures of Vrindavan, including the trees and cows, were great souls who would personally associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because of ecstatic sentiments of separation, the trees considered themselves in ignorance and thus tried to purify themselves by bowing down at the lotus feet of Krishna and Balarāma. Lord Krishna, understanding their mentality, simultaneously glanced at them with affection and praised their devotional service before his older brother Balarāma. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamayyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I will first speak about Ramanujacharya and Radha Damodar before we go into today's subject, because today is the disappearance day of Ramanujacharya. And Ramanujacharya is such a special personality that Srila Prabhupada quoted his teachings so many times in so many places in his purports. And even in our ISKCON calendar, his disappearance days also is there. So it's obvious importance Srila Prabhupada has given. As his name goes, Rama Anuja, he is the incarnation of Lakshmanji. And he is the Pravartak, or the main Acharya in Sri Sampradaya, which begins with Lakshmi Devi. Out of 4 Sampradayas, one is Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi Sampradaya, where he was the prominent Acharya. He established 108 Divya Desham in South India, mainly in Srirangam and around area. And he preached the doctrine of Vishishta Dvaita philosophy. The specific position of Jiva, specific position of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the specific relationship of Seva and devotion, Seva and love. He established that in a very strong way. And before that, there was influence of the Mayavad philosophy, Advaitavad. It was very effectively eradicated, and the devotion to the personality of Godhead was established in a very powerful way by Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya, there are unlimited pastimes actually. If you go to Srirangam, it's just Ramanujacharya Kshetra. Everywhere you go, there are so many, like we have ISKCON centers all over the world, there are everywhere Divya Desham. Everything is so powerfully vibrant as a teaching institute. Divya Desham is very powerful. I just remember one small story of Ramanujacharya. Somehow by the unlimited grace, mercy of the Lord, I was allowed to stay in the home of Vaikunta Bhatta in the Yatra of 2005 of South India. It just happened by fluke. And there in that Yatra, one Nandagaon Goswami also had come to join us, and the 17th generation of Gopal Bhatta, Murli Bhattar, was current Acharya of Srirangam temple. He owned that house of Venkat Bhatta by inheritance. So there was, I was staying, and then the Goswamiji came from Nandagaon, who was in Yatra, to visit that place of house of Venkat Bhatta, and Murli Bhatta also came to meet me. So we three of us met in the same place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabodhanand Saraswati, Venkata Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta would discuss Krishna Katha for a whole night for 4 months in Chaturmasya. That is where the little Gopal got attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there, Nandagaon Goswamiji told the story of Radharamanji, how Radharamanji one time took the form of Gopal Bhatta Goswami to pay the debt of the shopkeepers. When Radharamanji appeared, he wanted to celebrate a big festival. He was sannyasi, he didn't have money. He borrowed money from the shopkeepers and said, 15 days I will give you. He could not pay, and he was very shy and very embarrassed. And he went to beg pardon and ask for more time. But then they all said, yesterday only you came and gave money. 1, 2, 3, 4 shops, everything same answer was there. So then he came to realization that to save my dignity, Radharaman Dev took my form and paid the loan. So this story was told by Goswamiji of Vrindavan. So Murli Bhattar, the Goswamiji of Srirangam, he said, I have also one story. He said Ramanujacharya was a very, very loving guru and preacher and acharya of our area. And one time he would always travel and preach. So one time when he was about to travel, he met many of his followers on the way. And he met one very thin, emaciated, weak-looking Brahmin. And he felt very bad and very compassionate. And he said, I will send grains to you. Please don't worry. And then he just went, and he forgot. And he came after 3.5 months. And again he met that Brahman on the way. Then he came back. Like while departing he was there, while welcoming also he was there. But this time he was a little bit better in his physical form. So he saw him and remembered, oh, I forgot. I promised you I will send grains to you. I am very sorry. I am very sorry, I will send. So he said, Maharaj, why are you embarrassing me? The very day you sent grains, and regularly the grains are being sent by your grace, but first time you personally came and delivered the grains. So that time immediately Ramanujacharya realized that Sri Ranganathji very mercifully, to keep my word, to fulfill my word, he went himself with grains to the house of Brahmin. And Brahmin is now quite well nourished. So this is the relationship between the Lord and his devotee. So how Lord took the form of Ramanujacharya. So there are many things, but time is not of essence. Today is also appearance day, Prakatya Din of, it's called Patotsav. In Brajbhumi it's called Patotsav. We call it Brahmotsav. The day when Radha Damodarji appeared and were installed. All of us know Radha Damodarji were worshipped by Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami was the son of the Grahastha brother of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. His name was Anupam. And Anupam had a son whose name was Jiva. And when Jiva was small, he would worship his Krishna Balaram dolls. They were deities, but like baby dolls, And he would take Krishna Balaram in his lap and sleep in the night. Like how babies sleep, like to put their dolls close to their chest. Was so attached to Krishna Balaram right from his childhood. And when he grew up as a young boy, he, because of the influence and association of his uncles, Rupa and Sanatan, the great souls, he also developed a lot of renunciation. And he followed in their footsteps and went to Vrindavan. And all of you know that when Radha Govindji were revealed by the mercy of Rupa Goswami, and then Mahan Singh came and proposed to Raghunath Bhatta Goswami under the guidance of Rupa Goswami that I will build a temple, because Rupa Goswami said, I don't know, I don't want anything. If you want to offer something, build temple for Radha Govindji. So when the Yogapitha was under construction area, Rupa Goswami stayed in Radha Damodar temple, which was not temple that time, but place where Jiva Goswami stayed. And he did his bhajan there. So we have Rupa Goswami's bhajan kutir. And he also, when he left his world, his samadhi also is made in that place only, in front of each other. So when he was there, he could see the intense desire in Jiva Goswami to worship the deity form of the Lord. So he felt I should offer some deity to him. And coincidentally and mercifully, Radharani appeared in the dream of Rupa Goswami and actually taught him and guided him how to make a murti. Rupa Goswami is not a murtikar, he is not a sculptor of making deities. But Radharani reciprocated to his desire and taught him how to make the deity out of stone. And with that guidance, Rupa Goswami carved a deity and presented it to Jiva Goswami. And that deity was named as Damodarji, Radha Damodarji. Pradam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. And I suppose today the deity was installed. And Jiva Goswami resided in Radha Damodar temple. And Jiva Goswami's Samadhi also is there. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Samadhi also is there in temple. Pushpa Samadhi of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is there in that temple. And that temple of Radha Damodarji is a conglomeration of many deities. The historical fact is that Radha Damodarji was the central deity of Jiva Goswami, worshipped by him. But at one point of time, Jiva Goswami became the leader of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. And each Goswami had his own deity, like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami had Radha Vrindavan Chandra, and Bhugarbha Goswami had Radha Child Chaitanya. Plus ancient deity of Jayadev Goswami also was there, Radha Madhav. And finally, the Shila of Sanatan Goswami also came in inheritance from Govardhan area to the inheritance to Jiva Goswami. And financially, everything just dwindled down, So, Jiva Goswami for protection of the deities and also to have a social solution to the situation, he brought all the deities to his temple. So today we have on the left Radha Vrindavan Chandra, then Lalita and Radha Damodar, then Radha Madhav, then Radha Child Chaitanya. In front there is Govardhan Shila. So Jiva Goswami was a very intelligent, highly intelligent and learned leader of Gaudiya Sampradaya. It was Jiva Goswami's genius that when Raghunath Das Goswami left this world, the Muslims were actually breaking open the samadhis of so-called Hindu acharyas, and then, destroy them or to insult them. That was a regular activity. So, sannyasis are generally buried in samadhi, they are offered a samadhi ceremony. But when Raghunath Das Goswami left this world, Jiva Goswami, knowing well that our respectable acharya would be insulted by Yavanas by breaking open the samadhis, so he did Daha Sanskar of Raghunath Das Goswami and put his ashes in samadhi there. So then they will not have a chance to insult the divine body of great acharya. This always impresses me, such a presence of mind, such an intelligent personality to, highly divine personality, has such a social sense to protect and respect and honor our acharyas. And that is why today we have very beautiful samadhi of Raghunath Das Goswami. In that temple, Radha Damodar temple is such an important place for all of us. It is a hub of universal preaching. That is where Rupa Goswami and the 6 Goswamis and also Bhugarbha Goswami and sometimes, of course, Loknath Goswami was in trance most of the time, but the 6 Goswamis and Bhugarbha Goswami will always come together, wash their feet in that phala-prasūnoru-bhareṇa stali, sit there and discuss about strategies of preaching. There was a tamal tree also that time, now it is not there. Under the tamal tree they would sit down and discuss the strategy of preaching in the future. And the same place Srila Prabhupada stayed for a couple of years, wrote the translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto into 3 volumes into English in the most absorbed way. And from there, see how he would write. Full day he would be absorbed in writing, and the Goswamiji would keep Rajbhog Mahaprasad outside the door, and Prabhupada would only come out in the night to see that prasadam. And then he would, with tears in eyes, sweep the Samadhi area and Bhajan Kuti area of Rupa Goswami and then honor the prasadam. He was so absorbed, he never even realized it was daytime, night time, afternoon time, lunch time, dinner time. So the Goswami ji, of course, he is also not there anymore, but he was there when we first went to Vrindavan. So he was a small boy that time. His father had invited Prabhupada to stay in the temple. So he could see Prabhupada sweeping the floor of Damodar temple Samadhi area with tears in eyes. And so many Loi Bazaar old shopkeepers who happened to be my patients when I was here in 92, they would tell me that Prabhupada would come to Loi Bazaar to Madhukari also, to their shops. And now they are having Prabhupada's DT and Prabhupada's photograph in every shop to make people feel very familiar to shopping. So that ecstasy of writing the heartfelt purports was experienced by Prabhupada in Radha Damodar temple. And then when he completed the 3 volumes, each volume he had to go and print in loans and sell on the road and come back again and write another one and again on the loan. When he completed all the 3, Rupa Goswami gave darshan to Srila Prabhupada with all the acharyas till Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and blessed Srila Prabhupada, okay, now you can go and preach. So it's a very, very divine place. And those 2 rooms are still preserved there. Lot of struggles have been there in the history to maintain those places, to have the places, not to lose the places. And now, when I was there in Vrindavan, I was given an offer to purchase Radha Damodar temple. But anyways, big Leela, didn't happen that way. But suffice to say, Radha Damodar temple has a very, very important and powerful position in our history of ISKCON, in the history of Prabhupada's life, in the history of our life also. So we should go there and sit down and meditate and beg for the blessings of how to preach and how to make a strategy of preaching. Get mercy there for that. That place is very powerful to receive the mercy of guidance of how to preach in current situations. Shri Radha Damodar Bhagavan ki. One of the most beautiful darshans and shringar is there in Radha Damodar temple. Always. Every day I get many pictures of daily darshan on my WhatsApp. So anyways, coming back to Srimad Bhagavatam. Today's verse is in 15th chapter. After Brahma Samon Leela, Krishna, Balarāma and cows and everybody, cowherd boys are going to Talwan now. So this particular Leela of Dhenukasur killing has got 2 parts. One part is Krishna Balarāma walking towards Talwan. Another part is they enter Talwan and then Balarāma kills Dhenukasur and Krishna also kills other donkey demons. But this part is especially very sweet. It shows how loving Krishna is, how loving Balarāma is, how loving cowherd boys are to each other. First verse, 4th verse clearly mentions that Krishna knew that all the trees are bowing down to him. Krishna knew. But still, Sri Krishna is very lovingly giving credit to his older brother. Hey, look, they are giving credit, offering Dandavat Pranam to you. And that goes on, description goes on, and how peacocks and birds and everybody is chirping and cows are making sounds and trees are bowing down to you and glorifying Balarāma, offering credit, worship to him. So this description about the trees is very special, as trees are also one of the most important ingredient of Vrindavan Dham. Like when Brahma saw the Vrindavan Dham, finally when he was corrected by Krishna and he realized his mistake, he came to his senses and he started repenting. At that time the real darshan of Vrindavan was shown to Brahmaji. Till that time he was in Vrindavan, but he didn't see the real Vrindavan. He was just trying to do his tricks on Krishna. When he came back to his original state of consciousness, at that time every tree was seen by him as Kalpavruksha. At that time every cow was seen by him as Kamadhenu. At that time every particle of dust was seen by him as Chintamani. So the real glory of Vrindavan was revealed to him as reality at that time. So one of the glory of Vrindavan that he could see with his own eyes was trees as kalpa-vruksha trees. So we may be also in Vrindavan, we may be going to places hundreds of times, hearing kathas, telling kathas, showing people, but till we actually relate to every tree as kalpa-vruksha, till we relate to every cow as kamadhenu, and till we relate to every dust particle as chintamani, the real realization of Vrindavan Dham will not occur in the heart. Brahma was overwhelmed that time when he saw these three things manifested in that sense to his eyes. And then he actually fell down on the ground, offering pranams again and again to Krishna, by taking shelter of the dust of Vrindavan Dham. And actually speaking, when he took the shelter of the dust of Vrindavan Dham, offering pranams to Krishna, that time actually he was forgiven of his offense. He was not forgiven only because of offering prayers, but when he offered his actually humble pranams in the dust of Vrindavan Dham, appreciating the Vrindavan Dham, kalpa-vruksha, kamadhenu, everything, that time he was truly forgiven. So these trees of Vrindavan are extremely important ingredient, and they are, as per the variety of scriptures tell, they are one of the three things. Generally the Brijvasi will say that every tree is Radharani. Every leaf, every creeper, every bush is all forms of Radharani. Another thing is, they say all great sadhus, they pray to Krishna that let me come as tree in Vrindavan and worship you. So also there is a good understanding, which is right also, that many trees are sadhus who are staying in the form of trees, taking birth. They pray and they achieve and they worship the holy place and holy dham by becoming a tree. We have proofs. 5 Pandavas were staying as trees at the bank of Radha at Shamkund. Shamkund was made later on, but they were already in that area. They came in the dream of Raghunath Goswami and told that please don't cut us, we are worshipping the Lord here. So Shamkund became zigzag. Another reference is there when Narad Muni went to Kusum Sarovar, or Kusum Van rather, and inside Kusum Van there is another forest called Ashok Van. But there are many forests there where the gopis would come to pluck flowers for Krishna's pleasure. And Narad Muni sat under one Ashoka tree in the Ashoka forest and he started meditation. And his meditation, he saw that each and every Kadamba Ashoka tree became a gopi, did own shringar, dressing up, and they were running in Ras Leela. Including the tree under which he was sitting, that tree also left, became gopi and entered Ras Leela. Now who were they? They were one out of, about 30-40 types of gopis are there. One of the types of gopis were aushadhis, and aushadhi means herbs. When Dhanvantari Bhagavan appeared, at that time the herbs who were connected with Dhanvantari as medicines, the herbs were people, they were persons. So the herbs were attracted to the beauty of Lord Dhanvantari, and they expressed their desire for conjugal loving relationship. So Lord Dhanvantari said, when I will come as Krishna, you all become trees in Vrindavan, and at opportune times you can assume the forms of gopis and enter Ras Leela. So those gopis, aushadhiya, the medicines, the herbs, they took forms of bushes, herbs, trees, creepers in Vrindavan Dham, and at opportune time when Krishna would call them, they would change their forms and enter in Ras Leela. And third, of course, which we know, third understanding is, each tree in Vrindavan is kalpa-vruksha tree, which means each tree has a potency to fulfill every single sincere devotional desire that we have. There is so much power that one can just embrace the tree. If it is too big, you can just touch the tree, put your head on that and say a desire, sincere desire. Not like, I want a good wife, I want a good husband, I want my child to be admitted in medical school, all those kind of things. It's too foolish to ask the trees, because whatever the trees fulfill your desire, the fruit is temporary. Fruit is going to be ultimately frustrating you and you have more desires to offer to the tree. So we are advised by acharyas to make only spiritual desires, make appeal in spiritual desires and embrace them, and they will surely fulfill them. The trees have also another potency that no other living entities have. The trees absorb the collective vibration of the place or all the activities that take place in that place. For example, if you come to Vrindavan, then what is happening here is Nitya Leela of Krishna. If you go to Bombay, then there is a drug house, or there is alcohol bar, or there is something nonsense going on. So you'll see trees very malnourished, and you're looking very sickly around the discotheque or something like that. This is scientifically proved. If there is devotional music, the trees flourish, even in Bombay, Delhi and Vrindavan, everywhere. If there is a materialistic music, the trees shrink, they become malnourished, they look sick. That's why in Vrindavan Dham, the trees are all huge, expansive. I also have Kadamba tree in front of my house. It is going straight, it's one stem. But you go to Kalia Ghat, it has got so many branches, and its base only is like huge, and the trees go in all direction, the branches. You go to Bhandirvat, the tree is like, you cannot imagine. So the point I was telling, that the tree has a capacity to absorb the collective resultant vibration of that place, whatever takes place there. So here the trees are constantly able to absorb the vibration of Krishna's divine pastimes taking place eternally, which they can see and absorb. And then whenever you go to the tree to sit, to do bhajan, or to hear katha, or to give katha, or whichever way, the trees give that potency to you to understand the essence of the consciousness of that place. I remember I was going to take one time yatra to Nasik in 2008, and I had made a plan, and I went to visit Radhanath Swami Maharaj to tell the plan, and he asked, okay, what are you doing, where are you going to go? So I told him everything. So all my plan was to give katha in the ashram, in the 4 walls, and after telling the katha, to take the devotees to places and just come back, again tell katha and again go to the places. I was feeling I made a great plan actually. Managerially is a great plan. He said, no, all the plan is cancelled, and you will do every katha under the tree in that place. And that time he explained me this, that every tree will give you spiritual potency to speak about that place, the pastime, even if you have studied. But the real potency, like we say, we go and put the wire, charging. The tree will charge you, because the tree has observed all the Nitya Leela over there, and tree will potentiate you to speak. And it's true. When we speak katha or hear katha under a tree, holy tree, in the holy place, it has got different vibration and experience altogether. The same katha and story we tell in Mumbai also, and here in Mumbai also. But when we come here and sit under the holy tree, there's a different vibration is there. Now these trees in Vrindavan Dham were such when Krishna was there. Nandagaon mein there were many trees. In Govardhan there were many trees. In Vrindavan there were many trees. The branches of those spread all over Braj. Say for example, we are dealing with one tree in Govardhan area. So it's one branch will go to Gokul Dauji, one branch will go to Vrindavan, one branch will go across Jamuna to Belwan, another will go to Nandagaon, another will go to Kamyavan. One tree. And many times there is description in Gopal Champu that the cowherd boys would walk over the branches and herd their cows below. Remote control cow herding. And at times they will cross Jamuna over the branches and go to the other side of Jamuna. So even the Bhandirvat tree, which is there now also, was like that before. And there were trees in Nandagaon, and trees in Barsana, and trees in Vrindavan also. Even the Bansivat tree was like that. All Kalia Ghat tree also was like that. Now we see different forms of those trees. But these trees were active participants in the Leela of the Lord. Constantly they were not just standing there. Padapa. Padapa means what? Those who take their nutrition through legs. We eat through mouth, but they take the nutrition through legs. That's why they are called Padapa. And they are standing in one place only. They cannot move. Achala they are called as. But still, even by standing like that, they were very, very, very active. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Mathura, entered Vrindavan Dham, and he was going towards Vrindavan, at that time the description is that all the trees were bowing down, flat, dandavat pranam to the trees, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And some of them were bowing down with their fruit-laden branches to give Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to serve him. And all of them were bowing down to them. And they were bowing in such a, because cows also were running towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like totally attracted by his loving spiritual vibration. So cows were in between the trees also were bowing down to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So you can imagine the divine chaos that must have taken place that time. The cows and the calves and the cowherd boys and the men trying to control the cows and trying to dandavat pranam, the trees and the fruits and the flowers. And Mahaprabhu is dancing in between in ecstasy. So same thing is happening here. Now when Krishna is entering Talvan, there is a big patch of forest to go to Talvan. He is observing the trees which are bowing down. Some are bending down with their fruit-laden branches and flowers. So they are thinking that, oh, we did some sinful activities, offenses in the past, so we have become padapa now, we cannot move around, we cannot wander with him, herding cows from forest to forest like cowherd boys and the cows. So while he is passing through us or near us, let us offer everything to them, both of them. Let us surrender our lives, let us surrender everything what we have, what he has given us as fruits and flowers and as shade and everything. So all existence they are offering themselves to the Supreme Lords, Krishna and Balarāma. And that time Krishna is offering his love to his older brother, Balarāma. And there's so much glorification, there is such a sweet interaction between Krishna and Balarāma about trees offering dandavat pranam and glorifying you. You are such a wonderful personality of Godhead. Your lotus feet is sought after by Deva Rishis, Devatas and great Rishis and great Munis and Sadhus. Those lotus feet are being touched by these trees. How fortunate they are that they are approaching these beautiful trees, these beautiful lotus feet of yours. Please bless them. They are your devotees. They are your eternal devotees. They are taking opportunity to worship you. And actually they are worshipping Krishna. So this is love. Love means you offer everything, including all appreciation, to the beloved. You don't keep anything for yourself. Whatever you receive, you offer to your beloved. Selflessly, without expecting anything in return. Or return may you receive appreciation. That is also not expected there. And such love is the goal of our life actually. Our all practices of Krishna consciousness, Krishna Katha Shravanam, Harinam, Kirtanam, and Harinam Japa and Seva, all that is supposed to lead ultimately into that love, which is selfless love for the Lord and for his devotees, and expecting nothing in return. In that stage, Sri Krishna becomes subordinate to that devotee when that love develops. But Sri Krishna is only looking for that love in everybody. And when that love is visualized by Krishna, Krishna loves to become subordinate, subjugated to that devotee, offers himself completely, and then finally he becomes das of that devotee. Like Arjuna, he became Sarathi, and so many and so forth. So the whole process that Srila Prabhupada has given us is such a exalted process. Many times when we go around Vrindavan, you may know some Brijvasi here and there, they may tell you that, oh, Prabhupada ji gave only basics, he gave only ABCD, what he could have given, anyways people were so new and young and they could not have understood. So he was Rasika Bhakta, but he could not give Rasa Bhakti to everybody. This is totally a bogus statement. Srila Prabhupada has given every single explanation of Rasa to us. We should read Nectar of Devotion. We should read Chaitanya Charitamrita. All rasas to their maximum extent and concentration are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion. Each and every rasa is explained and a connecting story also is given in that, if you read Nectar of Devotion properly. So, when people say like that, some people get influenced by that. That yes, always in the Katha of ISKCON temple, only you are not the body, you are a spirit soul. That only is explained more than anything else. And where the Rasa Bhakti descriptions are there. What are the books given for? Why Srimad Bhagavatam purports, if you read 10th canto, 89 chapters are there, all filled with rasa only. Filled with rasa. Whatever we need to know and we need to understand, everything is Prabhupada has given as a complete whole. There is nothing incomplete that you lack here, you have to go outside to do PhD. There is no need. So that gift of love of Godhead that we are supposed to achieve, that is already given by Prabhupada. If you simply follow his books seriously, read his purports of ecstasy, of his own ecstasy, seriously, attentively, we will get everything that we need. We don't have to hunt outside, do not do shopping, window shopping outside. But first we need to have that faith that our Acharya is perfect and complete, and he has given us complete understanding of the whole philosophy, and the ultimate fruit of prema bhakti also is contained in that. Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Is there any question is there? Any comment is there? Maharaj, please.
You can read the verse?
I read the verse.
Already, I missed it.
I read both the verses also. Yes, Maharaj.
No, I thought you said
You beautifully explained about the potency of the cultivation trees, and you gave the example that you went to Nasik, and then
Give the example.
you went to some yatra, some outside, right?
Nasik.
And then as long as I was going to go out of the tree that gave importance. And also beautifully explained about the cultivation trees here. I had some other thoughts, and possibly you could expand and comment on that. Srila Prabhupada was appeared on the jackfruit tree.
Yeah, in Kolkata.
And then also Srila Prabhupada began the Krishna consciousness movement outside chanting. Of course, he started in Washington Square Park first, but then he moved
Tompkins Square Park.
First was Washington, one song, and then famous trees. So could it be like a exalted personality?
Yes.
Like Srila Prabhupada can even infuse a regular tree to be a wish fulfillment tree for others to go there.
Yes.
Can you comment?
Yes, I thank you for that wonderful question. Before that, I want to say that this tree was there on the land of purchased land for this temple, right? So Prabhupada built this whole temple around that tree.
This one's the father.
Father, of course, his father.
93.
Yes.
95.
Yeah. So Prabhupada built the whole temple around the tree. This Bhaktivedanta hospice had 28 trees, and the designs were changed to accommodate those trees and to make them live. So that tree where Prabhupada was born, and then I went to Tompkins Square Park. I visited New York and I went to that place. When I entered, there somebody is taking drugs here, somebody is doing nonsense here, like that whole thing was hellish atmosphere. And as I moved and I entered the arena of the tree, it was like a very divine holy feeling, because I have visited many holy places before, and what feelings we get when we enter the holy place, that same feeling was there when we entered near that tree. And that tree definitely is not an ordinary soul who assisted Prabhupada in his primary, kirtan, closed eyes kirtan with drum, the dabba. And today also we go there and Prabhupada is physically not there, but you can feel that transcendental vibration there. And there's a board there, Mayor has put the board, Hare Krishna tree, where the founder of the Hare Krishna movement performed his primary kirtan over here, devotees danced over here. One similar tree is there in Navadvip, in Koladvip, at the banks of Ganga, where there is a samadhi of Jagannath Babaji Maharaj. And that tree also is called Hare Krishna tree. And Jagannath Babaji Maharaj performed his bhajan day and night at the bottom of the tree. Of course, there is a children of the tree now there. The original tree is not there. The tree has gone back to Godhead. And that tree is still there, Hare Krishna tree. So, at some places, the trees give potency. At some places, the Acharya gives potency to the tree by his association. We have all the examples. But either way, the association of trees is always beneficial. Either you chant or they give benefit to you. Does that answer your question? Yeah. I am telling you, I cannot forget that experience. It cannot be put in words. When we go to a place like America, surrounded by, in that park also with sinful activities, cannot be explained to you how deep sinful activities. Right there. And you have to put your head down and go because you want to go to Hare Krishna tree. But immediately inside you go, that area, you feel so divine. You don't feel like leaving that place up. Hare Krishna.
In New York, in Tompkins Square Park, that tree where Prabhupada did the initial chanting and track and everything.
Yes.
So during the marathon for 1 month, every day I'd go there, do my 3 times around that tree.
You get all the potency to begin your Sarinam book distribution. No doubt, what you say is completely true.
Sometimes the boys do bhajan kirtan.
Yes. I also did. Yeah, me and Madhavanand Prabhu sat there and sang Hare Krishna for a long time. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, thank you very much. First, like my comment about the last part of your Bhagavad-Gita, as you said, everything in Prabhupada books.
Yes.
So, recently, His Holiness Radharani Maharaj, Vyas Puja was and some of your godbrothers learned about reading Sanskrit. So they asked Maharaj, we are reading Sanskrit, Vikas. The devotee told him, Maharaj, yes. Then you can study tikas or whatever, but by reading that tikas, you see how Prabhupada cares everything in this book and explain that. So I was feeling very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there is also one little small danger by becoming Sanskrit Pandit, that sometimes Prabhupada translated the words of Sanskrit into a practical translation. It may not be a literary verbatim translation. He translates the same word in different verses in different way. And if you become Sanskrit Pandit, then you start criticizing it. This is not right, this is not right, technically this is not right. So it is explained that if before we learn Sanskrit, we should be under the guidance of an exalted devotee. If on our own we start Sanskrit studies, there is a good chance that we will become proud and we will get deviated. So this was told to me by His Holiness Bhakti-Rasamrita Maharaj, that before even allowing any devotee to become Sanskrit Pandit or scholar, he should be guided, oriented properly. That Prabhupada's translations are all practical translations for the particular crowd that he was addressing, where you get the gist of the meaning, not that you become Sanskrit Pandit. The aim of Bhagavatam translation is not to make you Sanskrit Pandit. The aim of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad-Gita is to give the message of love that is hidden there.
I have one question.
Yes.
Regarding deities, as you said, like Radha Damodar, in our eyes we see like completely different. Like we see Radha Shamsundar is so beautiful, but
yes.
when we see Radha Damodar, we cannot see that beauty.
It's like this. You have a beautiful son and somebody may not be having so beautiful son. But that person who so-called, Tatha-kathit, so-called, doesn't have a beautiful son, he sees all the beauty in that son. And you also see all the beauty in your son. So where is the beauty? The beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So first time when we come to Vrindavan, and we have gone to all temples in Mumbai, all those very beautifully carved deities and all, and we come to Vrindavan, suddenly we see all black deities. And we get something like cultural shock. But when you keep coming, then you start developing love for them. Radha Damodar, you can see distinctly from Radha Shamsundar, from Radha Vallabh and from Radha Gopinath and Madan Mohanji, you will find how different and how differently beautiful they are. So it requires connection, it requires relationship. It is not a mechanical thing. The deities are not stone, they are people. So when we connect with them and know their glories, know their history, know their pastimes, then by their mercy we start appreciating their beauty. And then you will understand how beautiful they are. How Shyam Sundarji here and there are so beautiful. Lamodarji, Vrindavan Chandra, how beautiful they are. It's all matter of relationships. It's not mechanical. Thank you very much. It's 9 o'clock. Oh, Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam, Maharaj. I didn't notice your presence.
My question is, are all the trees in Braj kalpa-vriksha trees?
This is the question?
Yes.
By scriptural definition, yes.
Even the sticker trees?
Even the?
Sticker trees.
All trees, whether they are thorn trees, babool trees, if they have taken birth in Vrindavan, they are kalpa-vriksha trees. They may prick you, but if you pray to them, they will give blessings of love, Radha and Krishna.
Of course, we don't embrace the sticker trees.
Yeah, we don't embrace because they will prick you. But we can offer pranams from distance at least, don't touch them at least between the thorns.
Talking about trees also, Lord Chaitanya, he took birth under a neem tree.
Yes, the famous neem tree is there in Yogapeeth. And there are some trees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and embraced them in Nasik. And they went back to Godhead. There's one tree in Agra-dvīp. The biggest tamal tree ever I have seen in life is in Agra-dvīp, where three brothers are there. What is his name? Govind, Gopal Ghosh, Govind Ghosh, Gopal Ghosh and Vasudev Ghosh. They stayed in Agra-dvīp and they performed their worship under that big tamal tree. The hugest tamal tree I have ever seen in life. It's like banyan tree, but it's tamal tree. So all our acharyas, they have done their worship. Most of the people have worshipped under the tree. Their kuti was under tree and they were worshipping under tree. Yes? Is it okay to continue question answers? It's already 9 o'clock. Speak in the microphone.
Thank you for the very nice class. Madhavendra Puri is standing on the banks of Govindapur as of today in Giriraj. This Krishna Goswami.
Madhavendra Puri, by the way, is himself avatar of Kalpa-vriksha. Vaikuntha Kalpa-vriksha incarnated Madhavendra Puri. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Any Mataji? Yeah. Give your microphone to her.
Thank you. Thank you. I realize that in us and everywhere around there is the soul and the super soul, the self and the super self who connect to him by love, by relationship. So in each atom, in a holy place like here, we can connect like with trees, people, animal, and they give us then pledge. It's just it's very pure. The pure and this connection to the soul and the super soul is present.
Can you understand what she's saying? Not able to understand.
Everything is
French. You speak French?
No.
She will give you French.
I'm not understanding what she's saying actually.
Then each soul, Jiva is with super soul, et the Atma.
Yeah, Mataji, please translate.
She said that every soul is connected with the super soul.
Yes, yes.
And we are in the ocean of prema originally.
When we connect with face to other.
Yes.
When we connect
Even
faithfully to other.
faithfully.
Reciprocate.
yes. Even the trees exhibited their ecstasy by shivering and raising their branches, So many times the description comes. When Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, trees were either trembling, either bowing down, or shedding their leaves and flowers because of ecstasy. Also when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did parikrama of Govardhan, the trees of the Govardhan also trembled and showered their flowers and leaves in ecstasy. Okay, so we will end here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki